I got some photos from my assistant in Indonesia. He took these photos of the Aurora peacock chair.
This is the Aurora peacock chair.
The interesting thing about the Aurora peacock chair is that it made its debut through anthropology. I don't really know anything about where anthropology gets that chair made, but what I do know is that I discovered a maker in Cirebon who was making that chair. And the way that I discovered him was when we decided to have the peacock chair competition with Marywood University. And this maker became one of the frame makers and makers, like in completion of some of the students' designs. And so this maker, the way that we found him was we were always looking for actually the older makers, the ones that knew a lot of things. And we wanted one like that because we had the designs from the students and we wanted to get somebody that really knew how to bend the material, how to bend the rattan. And so it was this maker, and his name is Yo-Yo.
This is Yo-Yo. He's the one in the back there on the left. And he built some of the frames for the students of Marywood University Hall of Innovation, and also our first Amory frame. And he is the one that we got our first Aurora peacock chair from. It was during this time visiting with Yo-Yo and others that I started getting ideas on how Homevestures could work with the makers.
So we had our designs from the students and we go to him, and it was a fantastic meeting, and we decided, to have him make some of the student chairs and also the frame for our first Amory. And it was during that time that he was making this particular model of peacock chair, which we now have as the Aurora. And so we bought one. We weren't overly impressed with the way it was made, but we bought one because we like having all the different models. And then the idea came to me, why don't we put the caning on the back? And so Yaya was with me when we were discussing it, and so we did it, and it was just such a great solution to the way that chair was constructed. So if you look at the chair, it has a lot of little pieces in it. And we did not see that as being a really, really great thing. And so by adding the caning to the back, it kind of became this sheathing that was holding the artistry that was created in the front. My assistant, Mastodi, he started taking photos for me so that I could, combined with what the photos that I'm getting here in Tucson, kind of give more of a rounded visual image of the inner workings of Homevestures. And that has been such a fun adventure because we created this area at one of our studios, patched up the walls and painted them, and it's in a pretty well lit spot, so that's where he takes all the photos. And Aurora, this chair, was the first one. No, I shouldn't say. And Aurora he styled in pairs. He styled this one as a single, but then he styled it in pairs, because we have a few there. And so it was so interesting to look at the imagery, because it reminded me of how I began taking photos of peacock chairs. And it was during a time where I was alone in Indonesia, and I was thinking a lot about a lot of things, and especially relationships and people. And I just started seeing the chairs as individuals. And then I would bring them together, and I would position them, sometimes back to back, side by side, front to front. You know, even sometimes it felt like a dance when I was putting them together. And so when I saw my assistant doing this with a pair of Aurora, I just was like, whoa, that is so beautiful.
Aurora without the caning, and now with the caning. Here's the photos that my assistant Mastodi took, and you can see how he coupled these almost in a communicative type fashion and even touching.
It made me realize one of the coolest aspects for me about making these chairs, and how many really cool messages, and that sounds really kind of cliche, but I think actually what it was is something that I heard last night, to the effect of, you know, the physical world and the tangible things, that they don't matter, because what really matters is vibration. That's what it's all about. And it's so true. It's so true. All of it's true, actually. And so the beautiful thing about the vibration is that once you become aware of your vibration, then you can materialize things. Things can become tangible to you. And that is really what I have seen in working in and through the rattan industry, and working with the Indonesians, and discovering so much about things that I thought but weren't true, and things about myself and about them that I thought both ways that weren't true. And so it really does matter that we have experiences with tangible things. It really does matter that our thoughts actually do become something tangible. That's what Homevestures is about. And we want to attract people that would like to allow their thoughts to become tangible things in and through Homevestures, wherein people who are in the business are able, who are in the business adding their architecture, and in return able to have what they want, like a house, a car, beautiful home furnishings, all those things. And so that really is at the essence of the Homevestures. Like, that's really at the essence of how I personally have approached styling peacock chairs. That was really a long way around it, but the reduced version is like this: that people matter, and they affect, if we want them to, our creations. And all the people in our lives are affecting what we create. Have a look and notice how we're styling our peacock chairs.
Baby, now I got the flow. I'm about to pull up. His switch for cuts. And I've been waiting so long. Now I got